Over the Cleveland Cavaliers, the man standing in my left, a big part of it, Allan Houston, with a big night tonight. Career high 34 points as a New York Knick, 22 points coming in the third quarter. A marvelous effort, as we said, by our star of the game, Allan Houston. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It feels good to come out and continue our win streak. And we've been up and down, but to come out and play 2 consecutive good games in a row feels pretty good.
Unbeaten since the All-Star break, now 13-10 without Patrick. Is it safe to say, and you almost hate to say it, you guys are making the adjustment, getting used to it now?
Well, we're getting tired of everybody telling us we can't play without Patrick. Now we're going to welcome him back, but in the meantime, we really have to hold down the fort and really make some way for a good playoff position and playoff spot. And right now, I think we're trying to, we're in a position where we feel like we have our backs against the wall and we want to come out fighting.
22 points tonight in the third quarter. Safe to say you were feeling it in that proverbial zone?
I think, yeah, I was in the zone tonight. I think, that's probably the hottest I've felt, since I've been here. And, it feels good to go out and play hard and on both ends, but especially get going and feel like that on the offensive end.
You talk about a comfort zone. The last 9 games, 20 or more points for the Knicks.
Well, I think, I've been able to just try to utilize all my skills and try to at least get to the hole some and really, my wrist has been feeling better, so I've been shooting the ball a little bit better. So I've been just trying to really just use everything I have.
Still in all this club now, as we said, since the break, 3-0. Do you feel the momentum? You feel things starting to roll now for you?
Well, I've always said, we're capable of getting on a nice winning streak, but I think mentally for us, we have to really keep the same mindset. Keep it on the defensive and rebounding, as our identity, and really just stick together. And I think on the offensive end, we're getting better shots because we're creating for each other.
Tremendous job rebounding tonight. A lot of balance, but I got to ask, you still got one more semi-bump in the road coming up. You got a West Coast trip coming.
Well, we're going to treat this road trip, very seriously, of course. And I think if we stick to what we try to do in Orlando on the road, which is really have a lot of ball movement, get everybody involved, and really remain focused on the defensive end.
Not that there are any bad guys, but one of the good guys. Good to see you tonight, Allan Houston. Congratulations. Continued success.
Thanks a lot. 34
points for Allan Houston tonight. Knick career high as the New York Knickerbockers pound the Cleveland Cavaliers 102-91. Allan Houston, his accomplice in crime, Larry Johnson. More on the game with Mike Breen and John Andres.
Bill, thank you very much. Knicks now improve on the season to 28-21 overall. They're 18-6 here at MSG. Cavs fall to 28-23 on the season. Next up for the Knicks, they start that 3-game trip in Denver against the Nuggets. Our coverage begins MCS Cannon game night at 8:30 p.m. Tip-off at about 9:10 right here on the MSG Network. Of course, up next, the post-game report. Jeff Van Gundy's team undefeated since the All-Star break. They're 3-0. A nice 3-game win streak. We'll hear from the head coach and more players as well. Closed captioning has been brought to you by New York Marriott Marquis, Broadway's biggest hit. Knicks now 2-0 against the Cavs, much because of Houston, but not just the 34 points, the season high, 8 rebounds. He also had 4 assists, and his team looked for him when he was hot in that third quarter. Knicks lead this one from start to finish, never trailed in the game after Charlie Ward opened up with a 3. Despite some fine play from Cedric Henderson, the rookie from Memphis. Sean Kemp also had a big game, but not enough for the Cavaliers. So the Knickerbockers head west with some momentum. For John Andres and our entire crew, this is Mike Breen saying stay tuned for the postgame report. You're watching New York Knicks basketball on the MSG Network.
We'll talk more about Allan Houston and Larry Johnson, who also had 23 points tonight, and the rest of the Knicks in this marvelous victory. But first, let's take it up to the 4th floor and Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk.
Thanks again, Bill. Obviously, a very impressive performance tonight by the New York Knicks in this resounding victory over Cleveland. If you look at this game from the Cleveland Cavaliers' perspective, as we were sitting at courtside prior to tonight's contest, the Cavs have not been playing that well of late. They come into Madison Square Garden. They play a Knicks team that does not have Charles Oakley sitting out his game suspension, that does not have Patrick Ewing. The Cleveland Cavaliers figure to win this game. In fact, basically, they have to win this game. It's a winnable road game for them and an important one. And they were just blown out tonight by the Knicks. You can say the Cavs played bad, but the Knicks were brilliant. And one of the reasons that Allan Houston has played so well of late, the lack of Patrick Ewing. Allan Houston is seeing the basketball a lot more now and getting a lot more shots than he did when, of course, Patrick was healthy and the focal point of the New York Knicks offense. Now look at the highlights of tonight's game. Back after a difficult night. The Nets-New Jersey game last night. The Nets-Philadelphia game, Dee Kantner had to throw Allen Iverson out in the waning seconds. Worked tonight's game without incident. Wesley Person, late first quarter, throws up a brick, and John Starks rebounds ahead to Houston for the layup. And the Knicks were on top 23-15 going into the second quarter, where Starks misses a three-pointer, but nicely shows some hustle, follows his own shot, gets the rebound, goes in for the dunk. New York up 27-16. The Cavs tightened it up. Sean Kemp in the low post. Dishes to rookie Cedric Henderson for the layup. Chris Dudley unable to block that one. Cavs down 4 as Ewing continues to watch helplessly from the bench. Bobby Sura now the three-point attempt, and Houston on the rebound. Ahead to Larry Johnson. Spins into the lane for the left-hander. New York led it 49-40 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, you saw it, Houston just outstanding. Really took this game over and finally living up to the potential that the Knicks felt he had when they lavished that $8 million a year contract on him coming over as a free agent from Detroit. Houston scored the Knicks' first 12 points of the quarter and wasn't done. Driving there for the layup. Then hits his third three-pointer of the quarter. 22 with the Knicks' 26 points in the third quarter were scored by Allen. Again, he finished with a Knicks career-high 34. Knicks up 12 going into the fourth quarter. Cleveland got as close as 6, but you never got the feeling that the Cavs were going to get back in it. Knicks pull away. Childs feeds LJ for the layup and the call. And again, New York wins impressively over the Cleveland Cavs, 102-99.
Well, welcome back to the Knicks post-game report. New York Knicks with a 102-91 victory over Cleveland tonight. Knicks with their third